How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you my $50 gaming PC. Well, honestly, a better word for it is probably just a $50 computer that happens to play some games. This is a Lenovo ThinkCentre mini PC. It contains a Ryzen 3 2200 GE CPU, which is also going to act as our GPU. It has 8GB of RAM in the single channel configuration, and while these specs are nowhere near impressive, they can actually play low-end games pretty well, especially at the $50 price point. Some of you may be wondering, how did I find this PC for $50? Well, I searched up some old Ryzen APUs on eBay and found a bare bones PC just like this being sold for $35 with shipping. And on eBay, you'll often find a best offer button below the buy now. And I suggest that you use this because you could be offering $5 to $10 below a product and you may be able to, find a sweet deal on it if they accept. I ended up getting this one without storage or an operating system for that $35 price. Now, for the storage, I went with a non-name M.2 off of Amazon for about $15. It had 256 gigabytes, which is plenty enough for all the games that I would like to run. And for the operating system, I just downloaded an unactivated version of Windows onto a flash drive from the official Windows website. A few things to note before we go further. Prices are going to fluctuate, especially on eBay. This isn't a one-time deal and it can be had with some simple research, but make sure you do your research before buying this product. I have seen many of them for sale that are non-functioning, so make sure you're looking out for pre-owned versus 4 parts / not working. Once the package arrived, all I did was pop off the side of the PC and I screwed in that M.2 storage. Once that was complete, I downloaded Windows onto the PC and we were ready to go. Starting off with Minecraft, we were averaging about 100 plus FPS at 1080p, just about normal settings with I think the render distance at 8 chunks. This game ran actually very well compared to the other games. In the knockoff Fall Guys, at 1080p low settings, we were getting about 80 to 90 FPS most of the time. This would be perfectly playable, especially if you cap the frame rate. Next up, we have Valorant, which actually performed way better than the benchmark would suggest, just because whenever I was running the built-in OBS software, it was using a lot of the CPU, which, as we know, Valorant is a very CPU-intensive game. Whenever I'm not using OBS, I'm getting about 100 FPS on average. I don't exactly know what went wrong with CS2, but we were getting horrible frame rates even at 600p in the lowest possible settings. I'm going to chalk this up to OBS running in the background as well, as this is also a CPU intensive title. Whenever we weren't running OBS, we were getting about 50 FPS, which still is a lot lower than I would have expected. Fortnite again is very similar, very CPU dependent. It was not doing very well at 720p, so I ended up capping the frame rate at 30, which was a much more enjoyable experience than the relative high frequency of jumping around with frames. I mean, it was going from like 50 to 20 to 50 again. It was just not a great experience. The last game that I tried to run was Marvel Rivals, and as you can see, it was just way too intensive for this PC.
Your team's capture progress has passed the halfway point.
A series of games that I did not try were actually emulation games, but I know that this system would be great for emulation, especially older titles like Nintendo 64, 3DS and stuff like that. Especially, you know, PS2 games. These are all things that would run really well on these integrated graphics. Once you start getting up to like Xbox One and PS3, you may have some issues, but either way, emulation should run way better than some of these brand new titles. Overall, this PC performed very well for $50, and it honestly has a pretty decent upgrade path. If we were to slap in another 8GB stick of RAM, I think our FPS in most of these games would at least go up by about 20 to 30%, and that should only cost about another $10. So that would definitely be a worthwhile investment. GPU wise, I don't know if we could really slap a GPU into here unless we got some sort of adapter or PCIe riser, just because this is so small of a system. Thanks for watching. I should have a couple more of videos like this coming out very soon, so be on the lookout and subscribe to my channel. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers.